As you can see, it's another gorgeous August afternoon in upstate New York. It's a little bit before the first of 2020, and this is actually, normally this would be almost impassable, frozen tundra. We're used to. Global change is real, people. Hey, I'm a Republican. Can I tell you? It is what it is. We've never had winters like this, not so long as I've been alive, and that's a long time. So anyway, what we're doing is yesterday we had assembled the Ingenious Gun Works hammer and seer in my 1911 Colt. Didn't get a chance to take it out yesterday. The weather was even worse than this, believe it or not. But we wanted to bring it out. I was going to go down to the gun club today and shoot there, but I remembered they have a no photographs, no video policy there. Well, at least by permission, and the people who give it permission are never there Sunday, right? So, figure we'll go out to the backyard here, and we'll put a few downrange. I brought 4 mags with me. We're going to go through them just as a baseline. My dog's over there. Just as a baseline, this is a bone stock as they make them. Was made in 1993. It's a Colt Mark IV Series 80. A lot of people don't like the Series 80 guns. I've never ever had a problem with the Series 80. Both of my 1911s are Series 80. They're fine. The only mod I've done to it was yesterday. If you saw the previous video, yesterday we put the new hammer and seer in this. Since I joined a gun club for trap, skeet, and handgun, been spending a lot more time. I've always enjoyed shooting, but I'm actually I've got a little more time on my hands these days. I'm actually learning shooting. There's two different things: enjoying and learning, and they both kind of come together. Spending a lot of time with guys who've been doing this a long time, made a lot of mistakes. They showed me the difference between guys who are shooting kimber and guys who've modified triggers and hammers, and smoothness and weight of trigger pull and how it affects targeting. Another thing that we've done is Ingenious Gun Works has a front end bushing here that actually doesn't bush the barrel. It has 2 steel springs that slide up and down the barrel and are on paper and per patent causing the barrel to go back into battery. Again, we explained this in a previous video. I'm not going to waste your time. But what I want to do is do first impression with this new hammer. Keeping an eye on the dog over there. We're going to do first impression with the difference. It was explained to me and was actually demonstrated to me that these bone stock 1911s, as they are combat weapons, and that's what they're designed to be, is that they are actually pretty heavy on the trigger pull, and they're not smooth. They stop, and then the seer releases, the hammer comes forward. People gunsmith these things, they file them, and all this other things. These guys are all giving me all this stuff. However, this hammer and seer setup, made in America, and made actually just about 60 miles from here in Naples, New York, appealed to me very much. And there's a lot of choices out there. I made this choice because I'm spending my money as close to my front door as possible. I got to open up a conversation with these people. They are excellent, knowledgeable guys. Just a couple of regular Joes, not looking to make a buck. They're there to make decent gun parts that people want to buy. Hopefully profits follow. So, that's how that works. But I'm going to do first impression, because I've not fired this yet. So, first impression, you got we can fire here into this field. I think I will. I think I'll fire out this way, or maybe I'll turn you and put you off into the woods here. I think maybe that's better off there. Just because I came up through this way and I didn't hear or see anybody. There never is anyone back here anyway, but I didn't hear or see. It's much better out here. It's just a better way yonder, a couple miles. There's a couple of houses. I don't like firing towards them. I would never hit them with a handgun, but just trying to be sensible and safe. Just don't tell anybody. Bills are beating the Jets, by the way. Oh, Jets fans, here we go. More trolls. Thumbs up. Hey, you're an idiot. You know what you're talking about. That's you. Put your pants on. Get out of your mom's basement. Get out from in front of the computer and go shooting instead of making fun of the stuff people do. A little bit angry with the net about that. But I'm making videos because I don't care. tree here. I shoot low enough. It did not fire. All right, we got a malfunction. I'll give it one more shot. This system is not firing my gun. We're going to be sure we're dead safe now. Tap. Gun is clear. Now hopefully this is something that I did. Alright, we're safe and out of battery. And let's go back and see. I'm going to go talk to these people, set up an email thing. This is the first time I've modified a weapon. There may very well be something that I've done wrong. It seems to be functioning properly as far as how the gun feels. The trigger is smoother, but of course it's no good if it doesn't go off, right? So let's go real time, real world, see what kind of customer support we get. This is going to be a big deal. And so what I had done wrong is there's a small bracket down in here. It's kind of an oddball L shape. It's a stamped steel piece. And of course there's this other stamped steel piece here. This actuates the firing pin blocker. What I had done wrong is that I either had the tab behind the trigger where it should be in front of it, or probably more likely I had the tab just backwards. I had to turn the other way so it wasn't actuating the blocker. Let's see if you can see that or not. But this little guy here, that lifts the blocker out and allows a firing pin to pass. So that's pretty cool. So hey, you know what, we're learning. And also I'll tell you, I took this apart and I actually, long story short, I actually had a little bit more proper tools this time. The second time taking apart my 1911 went about twice as fast. And I'll bet you now, once I figure this out, I'll bet you I can have one of these back dismantled and put back together again in about 5 minutes. So anyway, let's carry on. We did find our problem. We did solve the issue. This was not an Ingenious Arms problem. This was a me problem. So let's rock on. And now we can see that the firing pin completely moves forward now. This gun's going to work now. I actually checked that to see if it was moving before I went to go fire it the first time, and guess what? It was moving, but not moving far enough. So it tricked me a little bit. So it's kind of cool. This has been a tremendous learning experience. We're going to take this back out in the woods and see what happens. And we're back in the woods. I believe I've repaired my 1911. I saw what I did wrong when I assembled it. I was able to get back in, correct it quite quickly. Also, the tear down and repair went much quicker the second time I did it, because now I'm getting better with taking these guns apart. I'm getting more familiar with the actual system. It's very cool. Works good. And the 80 series, I could see where guys would be upset with that and how they probably weren't all that thrilled with the extra parts and pieces in there. I personally think it's a great idea. A lot of guys, there'd be argument till the end of time about that. But I think the 80 series is safe, and I think that's the way it should be made. And so anyway, we're going to fire, well, hopefully we're going to fire the 1911. I'm going to fire my first magazine with for functionality. Then I'm going to fire a second magazine where I can actually assess how much smoother the trigger is. It feels, on the bench, it feels much different. Is it better? I don't know, but it certainly feels better. And so let's tear a couple rounds off, see what happens. as you can see, I solved the problem with the gun. Again, this was not an Ingenious Gun Works problem. This was something I did as a rookie gun assembler. The gun fired beautifully. The trigger seems to be considerably smoother and quite a bit more predictable. It's starting to rain again, so I'm going to pack up and take it back. I'm going to take this to the final stage of this is I'm going to take this to the range, proper targets, proper system, and we're going to fire. We're going to break some paper, and we're going to see how much more accurate the nose bushing makes this, and how much smoother I am firing this thing with the new system in it. It certainly feels smoother, and it certainly feels better. So, thanks for watching, guys. See you down the road.